Welcome viewers to our special coverage on the escalating tensions in the Middle East following what former U.S. Colonel Douglas MacGregor has referred to as a critical juncture in regional dynamics. Today, we dive deep into the unfolding drama of Israel's Operation Regain Dignity. Recent developments have jolted the international community, with your messages flooding in about an explosion of hostilities that could reshape the geopolitical landscape. This is no ordinary update. Today's coverage unpacks a complex tapestry of military maneuvers, strategic retaliations, and the whispers of war that might just redraw borders. Let us now embark on this complex narrative, beginning our exploration from a foundation that simplifies our approach to today's intricate details. Imagine yourself as the leader of Israel, a nation grappling with relentless conflicts on all fronts, from the enduring strife in Gaza to the nightmares along the Lebanon border and continuous skirmishes in the West Bank. Israel is besieged, as described by Mr. Douglas. The country is at a pivotal point in its regional engagements, encircled by adversaries from Iraq, Syria, Lebanon's Hezbollah, to the turbulent waters of the Red and Black Seas. The nation stands surrounded by hostility, with diminishing international support and economic conditions spiraling from nightmarish to hellish. The domestic front is equally chaotic, lacking any beacon of hope in this ever-intensifying conflict. In such a vaguer context, the mere thought of an Israeli offensive against Iran's nuclear facilities might appear to verge on madness. Yet whispers and rumors suggest such a bold strategy. Is this a genuine breakdown in rationality, or a calculated gamble by those who are cornered? As we examine the basis of these rumors, we find that the political, economic, and social landscape does not seem to favor such a large-scale assault, especially given Iran's fortified position and the catastrophic potential for retaliatory destruction. Indeed, in a world where nuclear powers are measured by their ability to sustain assaults, Israel's comparatively small size and isolated geopolitical stance render it uniquely vulnerable. Let us delve deeper into the alleged madness of this strategic decision. Could this really be a desperate ploy for survival, or is there wisdom hidden beneath the veneer of recklessness? As we peel back the layers of this complex situation, let's explore the madness further to discern whether Israel's actions are a product of desperation or a stroke of strategic brilliance. Today's reports have ignited a firestorm in the media, with claims that Israel has boldly targeted a nuclear facility in Iran. This action, framed as either a desperate measure or a calculated strategy, demands a closer examination. Let's chart the course of these alleged events and peel back the layers of what might be one of the most audacious geopolitical moves in recent times. In the northern reaches of Iran lies Tabriz, and to the south Isfahan, both provinces holding sensitive sites critical to Iran's military and nuclear capabilities. The southern region, home to a nuclear base, and the northern area, a military hub, are pivotal in a landscape riddled with geopolitical fault lines stretching towards Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, Iraq, and Syria. The sequence of events unfolded rapidly. Initial reports of explosions were primarily centered in Isfahan, quickly followed by similar disturbances in Tabriz. Within minutes, American officials were briefing major networks like CNN, ABC, and CNBC, declaring that Israel had initiated a retaliatory strike, marking the commencement of a targeted campaign. The immediate aftermath saw Iran shutting its airspace in critical regions, including the central capital area and both southern and western zones. As tensions escalated, the Iranian response was swift. Air defense systems were activated as a protective measure. The National Command imposed a no-fly zone across the Western territories, including major transportation hubs like Shiraz and Isfahan airports, along with several significant seaports in the southern quarter. With the initial chaos mapped out and the world holding its breath, what do we really know about the specifics of this attack? Are the reported strikes as straightforward as they seem, or is there more beneath the surface? Let's delve deeper into the details provided by various international and local sources to uncover the truth. In this crucial segment, we delve deeper into the tumult reported from the northern province of Tabriz and southern Isfahan. These areas, integral to Iran's military and nuclear strategy, became the focal points of a contentious narrative. American authorities swiftly informed major networks that Israel had initiated a retaliatory operation. Responding to these developments, Iran moved to secure its skies, closing off airspace in vital central and southern locales while activating its air defense mechanisms. Moments after the initial turmoil, the economic repercussions were felt globally as oil prices surged by a notable 4%, intensifying the already precarious global economic balance. This swift financial response underscored the interconnectedness of regional conflicts and global markets. However, Iranian officials offer a different perspective, suggesting that the explosions were the result of their air defense systems intercepting aerial threats rather than direct attacks on the ground. This clarification led to a reassessment of the situation, with Iran declaring the reopening of its airspace shortly after, signaling a return to normalcy without any significant damage to its nuclear facilities. Further intriguing details emerged about the nature of the confrontation. Iranian defenses reportedly downed several UAVs identified not as kamikaze drones, but as reconnaissance types loitering over Tabriz and Isfahan. This action raises questions about the true intent and scale of the operation. Was this merely a demonstration of Israel's reach and surveillance capabilities, or something more aggressive? Despite the lack of a clear confirmation from Israeli officials regarding the nature and objective of their actions, the episode did not escalate further. The world watched as the narrative unfolded, with misinformation and speculation filling the airwaves. Reports suggested additional missile strikes by Israel in the capitals of neighboring regions, and a military base in Syria, hinting at a broader strategic pattern rather than an isolated incident. As we wrap up this analysis, it becomes evident that the day's events, while alarmingly reported, might not have been as catastrophic as initially feared. The rapid de-escalation and the restoration of calm suggest a complex interplay of deterrence, surveillance, and perhaps mere posturing on an international chessboard. With the dust settling and the initial panic subsiding, let's turn our attention to what Iranian officials have articulated about these developments. We will explore their responses and the broader implications of this standoff in our next segment. As Mr. Colonel has noted, no air force, including Israel, has actively operated in Iranian airspace. And while the effectiveness of the S-400 systems against advanced aircraft like the F-35 remains untested, Israel is unlikely to take unnecessary risks. Today, we explore Iran's official response to the events that unfolded over their territory. Contrary to initial alarming reports, Iranian officials have clarified that the explosions were not due to ground attacks, but were interceptions made by their air defenses targeting aerial threats. The U.S. has acknowledged an Israeli missile operation, yet the situation was quickly diffused, as Iran announced the reopening of its airspace within hours, signaling a swift de-escalation and return to normalcy. We have exclusive footage showing the skies over these regions during the interceptions. Viewers will notice that the anti-aircraft missiles were deployed solely against aerial objects, with no impacts observed on the ground. This morning, the streets of Isfahan were calm, with citizens resuming their daily routines and no signs of distress or disruption. Further insights from Iranian officials indicate that previous meetings between Iranian and Israeli representatives hinted at possible confrontations, with stern warnings from Iran about retaliation against any direct threats to their nuclear facilities. This backdrop sets the stage for the misinformation that followed, with rampant speculation online about a nuclear war and erroneous reports of extensive damages which were non-existent. Moreover, the broader intelligence community has reported that the actual damages from earlier engagements were significantly underreported, suggesting that despite U.S. backing, the retaliatory capabilities of Iran's conventional arsenal might still pose a formidable deterrent in the region. The spokesperson for Iran's air defense reiterated that there were no successful penetrations by foreign UAVs, all of which were intercepted and neutralized, highlighting a stark contrast between the reality on the ground and the narrative propagated by some Western media outlets. With conflicting reports gradually being clarified, the question remains what truly transpired. Let's piece together these complex threads to uncover the layers beneath the surface narrative. Former U.S. Colonel Douglas MacGregor warns that the threat of total war still looms despite today's reassurances. Reports from Israel indicate no direct attack on Iranian soil, suggesting involvement by internal factions within Iran, possibly averting immediate conflict. Israel's actions aimed at strategic targets in Syria and Iraq appear to avoid direct escalation, with Iran serving dual purposes: retaliation and prevention of broader conflict. Yet the potential for future confrontations remains. Thanks for watching.